Okay, we spent a significant amount of time last year undertaking a diagnostic with one of the bigger wind turbine manufacturers in Europe. And we very quickly realised through that diagnostic that the performance that they were getting was way different than what we were currently seeing with our clients in oil and gas, even some of the mining clients that we were working with at that time. Going back and having a look at some information that was published at the time, the HSE in the UK made reference to the fact in 2020 that the wind industry had actually stalled, if not going back the way from an HSE perspective. Some of that is a consequence of the rapid growth of the industry, bringing in new talent and actually trying to combine that with really modern technology from that perspective. So the constant quest to do things right on the cutting edge of technology, but actually doing that work with people who have got current skills and capabilities, who are actually bringing cultures from different industries and actually made for quite a heady mix. What we do see and what we have experienced is that these organisations can very quickly bring in safety management systems or control of work systems and actually put them into play. But the ability to turn the intent of those into action is actually something that is a consequence of the culture that they create, the kind of leaders that they actually have in play. We see a lot of behaviour where people, frontline supervision in particular, and safety teams are engaged in safety work instead of actually being interested in the safety of work. So what actually happens beyond the paperwork. A lot of the work that we've done recently in this space is actually trying to change the focus from thinking about safety work to thinking about safety as an output. It's a consequence of other things that you do that actually sit within the key elements of what we do. So team cohesion, people working together, leaders creating an enabling environment to actually get the kind of performance that we want from our teams, getting access to information that's relevant and can influence in performance, and also actually creating the psychological safety in the environment that people not only can speak up, but they can actually challenge, and that actually allows the teams to achieve their goals as well as the organisation's strategy. A key learning from is we've actually been working with teams in the renewables is the hierarchical structure of these businesses. Quite a lot of the behaviour sentiment expressed is those in leadership positions believe that any kind of change, performance is actually something that they do to their teams rather than with them. And that this creates an environment where the teams actually believe that they're being controlled and they're being micromanaged, and the systems and the processes get used to micromanage people rather than being able to enable them and actually produce performance from them. One of the things that we've been motivating and inspiring the wind industry around is a principle that's actually heavily used in the oil and gas industry around chronic unease. We actually utilise this from a thinking process along the lines of safety. We believe that safety is not the absence of incidents, but the presence of barriers. They could be physical barriers, procedural barriers, behavioural barriers. So when we're actually thinking about chronic unease, we're actually thinking about that being as competence and concern. So the competence side of it is that you would actually know what these barriers are. It's a knowledge piece. The concern part is whether you cared enough to actually see that they were in play. That's an attitude piece. That's an activation piece that you need your frontline supervision, your management, your senior management to be very, very keenly asking questions around. So we actually speak about our frontline supervision being the last gatekeeper between what we say happens and what really goes on. And quite at this moment in time, what we're seeing in the wind renewables industry is a big focus on competency, technical competency. Can you construct the piece of kit? What we're interested in is not necessarily what's going on, but how it's going on and why people are motivated to behave in a particular way. And that needs to come through leadership, an environment that actually values psychological safety, that people can speak up and say, I'm not too sure, or that's not what we've agreed to do. These are evidence pieces of chronic unease. People feel unsure. Can they speak up? When they do speak up, will they be heard?